More on this. Ross Feingold joins us from Taipei. He's an Asia political risk analyst. Ross, good to have you on the show. I want to start by asking you how seriously you take the comments by the Chinese Defense Minister that we just played.
Well, here in Taiwan, we absolutely have to take these threats seriously. China's been making military threats against Taiwan for decades, but with China's economic growth, they now have the military capability to actually execute on those threats, although we don't know if they could actually successfully invade Taiwan. But clearly, they have been investing in their military capability to make a credible threat to Taiwan, whether it's by air, by sea, or by making an amphibious landing. So the authorities here in Taiwan, the elected government led by President Tsai Ing-wen, they absolutely have to take these threats seriously.
Okay. Patrick Shanahan said the U.S. would continue supporting Taiwan's effort to defend itself, but you also have senior Chinese officials accusing the U.S. of using sensitive issues like Taiwan to promote instability in the region. Is it?
Well, in many ways, these are not new issues. So China and the United States have had differences of opinion over the status of Taiwan, the status of the South China Sea, and numerous other human rights or trade issues. So to say that the U.S. is doing something that China doesn't like, again, that's just not new. But for the U.S., Taiwan's defense is something that the U.S. is obligated under U.S. law to provide for. So as long as China continues to make these threats, then of course the United States will continue to sell weapons to Taiwan.
Okay, you said that this was not a new issue, but what is new, when you go back several years, Beijing has sort of always sought to downplay the importance of this meeting in Singapore, the Shangri-La dialogues. Now we're seeing that China has sent its most senior military official, its most senior scholars to Singapore. What do you think is behind this decision?
Well, they had the platform. There's a number of tensions going on between the U.S. and China, between China and Japan, China and the ASEAN countries. Here's a platform where people are discussing security issues. And interestingly, North Korea is not the main issue. So sometimes in years past, at the Shangri-La dialogue, people are speculating who's North Korea going to send, what are they going to say when they get the floor. But it was China's chance to make a big statement. After, though, we should keep in mind it was after the United States had the floor. So China decided to take this chance and use this platform to make their statement. Although, again, in many ways, the fact that China says we disagree with what the United States is doing, that aspect, again, is not new.
All right, Ross, thank you. Ross Feingold giving us an update on the rising tensions and the talks out of Singapore. Thank you.